Hello guys, Alex from McVeigh Games here, and today I have another Lorcana gameplay video. I am playing my Amber Steel Song Control deck that I did pretty well at the 1K with. Just doing some more reps, getting some more testing in. So in my opening hand, I mulligan a couple of cards back to try to get some good 4 to 1 drops. Because I like the 1, 2, 3 strategy. Having a nice 1, 2, and 3 drop. But I do not get a 1 drop. So here I just ink it Eric and pass, and because I know they inked a steel card and then now a yellow card, I don't have to worry about keeping any beast or looking for a beast late game. So I draw a Grab Your Swords for turn, I ink a Hans, and I'll probably play an Eric and pass. They draw for turn. They have 6 cards in hand, along with an Eric on the field. So in the mirror match, you really don't want to quest or attack at all, because Rapunzel is just a crazy card, and the mirror match kind of comes down to whoever quests or attacks first loses. So we draw a beast here, gonna ink it because neither of us play items, don't need it. And then I can either play Ariel or do Be Our Guest. I decided to do Tinkerbell, interesting, because I guess next turn I can try to go for a play with, try and grab Rapunzel with Be Our Guest. So they draw, they have 6 cards in hand. They are going to ink for turn though, so I'll put them down to 5 cards. They play Be Our Guest first, and see if they could grab something good. And they grab a Surfer Stitch, very solid card. Ink a Smash. That card is very solid, especially paired with Rapunzel, along with paired with Baby Tinkerbell, because it allows you to hit your Baby Tinkerbell for 3, and then the following turn you're able to draw 3 cards. Or if you're at 7, you can do it all in one turn. So I pick up a large Simba and ink large Simba immediately. They draw for turn. Once again, neither of us are questing or attacking. Well, we can't attack because neither of us quested, but neither of us are questing. They play Moana, very interesting here. I don't play that card in my variant, but there are variants that play that along with Cinderella, and it is a very solid card. My Ariel misses here, and I decide just to pass because I don't want to potentially risk a attack and then heal with Rapunzel, because I would end up losing the game from there. So they draw, they ink a Baby Tinkerbell, which is decent. They smash into a the Ariel, which is interesting because if they did have Rapunzel, they should have saved it and then smashed their own Moana and then drew with the Rapunzel. So we use You Have Forgotten Me, and then we just ink a Smash because we don't have the Rapunzel, so it doesn't really combo very well. They draw for turn, so they got 2 cards. We have huge card advantage on them now, especially after inking, but they're going to play their Surfer Stitch and then draw 2 cards. Which, here, they could draw a Rapunzel because they haven't seen one yet, or they could just pass. Right here, there could be a cool instance where they could bluff out and attack with Eric, but they choose not to. I draw another Surfer Stitch, so I ink my other Surfer Stitch, and then I can play a Hades to add back the Ariel as ink, guaranteed ink for next turn, and pass, because my hand's a little clogged with the Grab Your Swords. They have a lot of quest power on the field, so it will really come down to who decides to quest first, because unfortunately I can't capitalize on them questing because they don't have Rapunzels, but it looks like they will, and they're going to quest for 5 with their 2 big guys. Maybe an Ariel? No, they play Beast. Very interesting. We draw You Have Forgotten Me, which is quite insane. So we can either go, there's a lot of routes we can do. Not quite sure which is the most efficient route, but I guess inking the Ariel and then playing the Surfer Stitch is probably an okay route. And then we draw into Beast and Tinkerbell. Here it's probably a misplay to deal with the Moana, just because they can Surfer Stitch into the Hades, take 3 damage, along with then they can Rapunzel and draw 3 cards. So that can put us a little bit behind, but with another You Have Forgotten Me, we could potentially get tempo back after a couple of Grab Your Swords. We have a lot of really good plus card advantage cards that can counter this Rapunzel that is going to come down. So the fact that they're drawing 3 isn't as terrible as it could be. And then they heal, draw 3, ink a Captain Hook, play Grab Your Swords, which is wild because a Rapunzel here would go crazy. They just beat over my last dude, and then they quest with their beast to put them at 7. So we're a little bit down on questing, along with we're down on card advantage because they have 7 to our 6. But we are going... No, they got 8. Jeez. Yeah, so we are really, really down. They're just kind of thinking here. I sped up the video so that situations like this weren't too terrible for you guys. Now we can You Have Forgotten Me, their hand away, which is kind of stupid. And then we can play Baby Tank and then set up for a good play next turn. Or we can be super greedy and just deal with their whole board and hope they don't have another Rapunzel. Because here the problem is, if they have another Rapunzel, they can just play it on their Surfer Stitch or their Rapunzel and then heal and then draw 3, and then we essentially just lose the game. But if they don't have a Rapunzel, we end up winning, which is really, really solid. So it was kind of a big risk, big reward play, because along with not attacking or questing, seeing Rapunzel is a huge importance in this matchup. Hence why Hades is very important in the deck, because once you see one, Hades is essentially more copies of Rapunzel. And with Rapunzel being one of the best cards in the game right now, you just want to see it as much as possible. So they play Big Simba, so not as potent as a Rapunzel. We just You Have Forgotten Me their hand away, and then we can play the Big Tinkerbell to deal with the Rapunzel. Nice little +2 that turn. And then we couldn't probably quest the Surfer Stitch. No, we decide not to because we want to draw 2 off Surfer Stitch next turn. Draw Moana for turn. Not super great for them. Draw Part of Your World. Pretty interesting. We have Hades, so that card can turn into potentially 2 cards. We just Surfer Stitch for 2 cards, and then we can ink Hakuna Matata. And then here we just pass because the next turn we're going to summon the Tinkerbell, which then puts the large Simba within range of, if he attacks any of our guys, he just perishes. So they use Beergast to grab Surfer Stitch, which is kind of good for them. A nice follow-up play. Beergast here, hopefully get a Rapunzel, and we do. Rapunzel's crazy. And whoa. Okay. I just misclick on accident and don't add it. So that was a huge misplay. But hopefully we can recover from that, because we do have a nice card advantage on the opponent. And then we can quest with all of our Surfer Stitch and put a little bit of questing pressure on them. They do have a lot of questing power on the field with 7, so I can put them up to 14. But if they do, I just positively train to the whole board, and then they end up losing. So they summon Surfer Stitch, draw 2, try to get back into the game a little bit. Have 3 cards in hand, a couple of dudes on the field, so they have their card advantage back. But now this crucial play based on what they're going to do, either quest or attack, it's going to be very important, because if they quest everything, it forces me to attack, and then I'll wipe their board and then be in an advantageous position. But if they start attacking me, their dudes are going to die, and that isn't going to be very good for them. So we'll see how they decide to deal with this board. So once again, just waiting. He's taking his play kind of long, I guess, thinking. So uses the Simba to deal with my Surfer Stitch and then trades. So that was very good for us. Oh, nice 1-for-1 trade after our guy drew us 2 cards, so we +2'd. Draw an Aerial, which is very solid because it's an inkable card, so that we can use Part of Your World to grab back that Surfer Stitch so that they just attacked. And then we can draw 2 cards and then potentially just snowball and win from there. And then we can quest everything, because they didn't quest anything because they couldn't, because they would just lose. Now we're threatening games, so they have to attack us, or they're just dealing with a lot. They do have 4 cards in hand, so that's kind of scary, especially if it's like a Rapunzel or something. If this gets Grab Your Swords, that's crazy. But it gets a Hakuna Matata, so that's not super, super broken for them. Besides that, I don't think there's any, Rapunzel would be broken. But they attack Moana, and they attack Surfer Stitch to deal with the Tinkerbell. And then Hakuna Matata playing the card, which is kind of wild, because you never see that card actually played. And it's putting in decent work here, because it prevents me from taking out their Surfer Stitches. So it protects it from the Tinkerbells, which is nice. But here, because they're not threatening any type of lethal, I think I could just quest everything out. Put myself at 18, smash the Aerial, and then play the Eric. And then pass. Because even if they have a Grab Your Swords, it won't deal with the Eric, which means we're questing for 1, which means we can play another Captain on the following turn, so we can end up just winning from there. And even if they decide to quest everything, they just lose. So they have to attack and deal with things. And I don't think they can do that. So they're probably just going to mid defeat quite shortly. Just probably thinking out their last couple of plays. Yeah, and there it is. There's the game. So thank you guys for watching. Hope you have a great day. Peace.